I want to just real briefly, read something that Hunter wrote me in May 5th of 1997, right before that letter, and on an original copy of Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, he scrawled out this barrage of words at me, and Cameron Crowe, the great director in Hollywood, and Jerry Maguire, when Cameron read it, he said, "Man, that's some of Hunter's best work." But what I'm going to do now is I have this to read, and this is Hunter, May 5th, 1997, scrawling some mad words at me as he scrawled about you coming out in the draft. So here we go on 3, 2, 1.
To Jim Irsay, the Colts suck because you diss the whole concept of team or even gang. The Colts act like a third-world transient in a holding pen with just enough whiskey and weirdness and talent to be competitive, but soon they will start getting busted. Small things at first, but soon bigger and faster and uglier, and your shame will be as the shame of many of your days, which will be spastic episodes full of crooked cops and wrongful dishonor. That is what I see in your future, James. For yesterday, you poor bastards, because you're too dumb to even fake a team concept or even to say the word "we" in public. That's why you can't have any fun with the Colts, and you won't have any fun with the Browns or the Whores or the Globetrotters. Be careful, James. Your greed-crazed outbursts are beginning to rub off on people.
Oh, wow.
How did you two become friends? And how did you have this relationship where he could just come talk to you like that?
I tell you, a couple of guys, Cameron Crowe, I helped out on Jerry Maguire, and Cameron had known Hunter through the years with the On It, Rolling Stone, and everything, and then Doug Brinkley, just a well-known great writer in this country, a lot of political biographies, and on CNN a lot. Doug was kind of like an understudy for Hunter and kind of helped Hunter keep it together. When Hunter, wasn't that eager to pick up the pen and work very much, and John Walsh used to go up there, and I talked to John, and Hunter would be there, and it'd be all times of the night. With Hunter, he'd wake up at 5:30 in the afternoon and go to sleep at 8 or 8:30, Mountain Time. So you had to, if you couldn't sleep, you could always call up Hunter for some friendly advice or some fun. His schedule was like none other. But I tell you, it was just so hilarious, just because he just loved the NFL so much. And, honestly, Ryan, he was a big-hearted guy, a grandfather, and, I tried to talk to him some about getting sober and those sorts of things, but, he just didn't have that interest, and, it was heartbreaking when the suicide happened and everything. Anita, his wife, I knew well, and it's just tough. He covered Hemingway's suicide in '59 as a young journalist, and he had it set in his mind that when his body, was given out too much, that was going to be that, and I talked to him the day before he committed suicide, and he just was different. He said, "I love you, James," and he never talked like that, And I said, "Man, what are you talking about?" And the next day, it kind of happened, and it was really, really painful because, when you lose someone to suicide, at first you're kind of pissed off.
Right.
You're like, damn it, Hunter. He was 67 in 2005, so now he'd be 83 years old. But he was something, a one of a kind, no doubt, and we had so many funny conversations, and and boy, he loved the NFL and loved football, and just an American icon, just really a brilliant man, one of the 3 or 4 smartest guys I ever met in my life. The guy was incredible, and you know, it was a big loss when we lost him, but it was great. You know, the impact he left with his writing is just incredible, and miss him to this day, man. Also today, Ryan, is the 50-year anniversary that Hunter S. Thompson sat in the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, which I know well, and headed off to Vegas for, you know, the famous Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So it was a long time ago. Him and his counterpart are having a pre-drink before they hit the road. Little did he know, you know, that he was going to be, you know, sniffing ether halfway. Like you said, it was around Barstow when the drugs kicked in. Yeah. The famous line in the book, and you know, that read is quite a madness read, a journey, but it's really great writing. It more than anything, it's just incredible the way Hunter could turn, you know, checking into a hotel. Hunter turns it into, you know, a lion country safari adventure. I mean, you know, he was just such a great writer, and you know, through it all, that's what he's remembered as. Not the craziness and the drugs and alcohol. All that stuff is just a sideshow. But what a writer he was. I mean, one of the greatest American writers ever, and that's how I'll always treasure and remember him so much.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.